pass up top. Jackson Smith scores!
Hey guys, I'm here with Jackson Smith of the Tri-City Americans and top prospect for the 2025 NHL Draft, and it's been a pretty big year for you, I'd say. Just how have you looked at it, I guess, from your perspective?
Yeah, it was a great year. Love it and try. It's an amazing place, and they've helped me a ton throughout these past 2 years. And this year is a bit of a roller coaster. Our team went through some up and downs, but it was good to make playoffs. First real playoff experience for me. I was there when I was 15, but to actually be on the team for a full year and be with the guys the whole year making the playoffs, it was incredible. So I had a lot of fun, and it was really good.
I kind of wanted to go back a little bit to, you know, that draft season for the WHL for you. Because I was actually laughing. I was looking at a conversation I had about, I think, a month before the draft, talking about how like, oh, who do you think Tri-City is going to take it to? Like, how is this going to go? And I got a message from someone saying, there's a D-man I can see Tri-City coveting. Jackson Smith is his name. And then I asked about you. I was like, okay, let me learn a little bit more. So like all I really knew at that time was you played at edge, you were a defenseman, and that's about it. And I got back, rushes the puck a ton, plays mean, hits hard, that kind of D. How do you think your play has kind of evolved since those days?
Yeah, I mean that was yeah, I mean I think I've gotten a lot more well-rounded. In Bantam, I was definitely running gun. I was always going, and I still have a lot of that. But especially this year, I've figured out a bit of a balance. And that's something that my coaches really worked on me about is picking the right time and when to go. And I'm still very offensive, but I also have worked on my defensive game a lot and having a lot more poise defensively. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely evolved, I would say. I think I need to get more of that meanness back in me, like I had in Bantam. It's fun to run guys over. So yeah, I miss doing that. So hopefully this year I can bring that back into my game. But yeah, it was fun.
You kind of added some things to your game, and now it's just putting them together, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, your skating is talked about so much when people talk about you, especially with the draft coming up. Um, it's just like how fluid you skate, especially for how tall you are, and like just being a bigger defenseman, it's one of those like, man, you move so well. Have you kind of trained towards that, or has that been kind of like a natural part to your game?
Yeah, it's kind of been a bit more natural. I've always kind of been a good skater growing up. Not sure exactly where I got it from. My dad, he said he wasn't a very good skater, so maybe it was my mom. She was a figure skater, but yeah, I kind of grew up, and I still worked on it a lot and worked on getting better at skating. But I always kind of had that part of my game with me, and it's kept evolving and keeps getting better and better. So yeah, it's probably my biggest asset, I would say. So it's definitely helps.
I've talked to a lot of guys throughout the years where, a lot of goalies are like, no, when I first started out, they made everyone skate and everyone was kind of like in a rotation, but I always just kind of like hung back or like a bunch of the forwards are like, no, I was always like, I was not staying near that goal. Were you kind of naturally like, I'm gonna defend. I'm gonna make sure no one's scoring on us, or were you like, I'm going out there, it's fine.
No, yeah, I'm going. I didn't think too much about that. I like to get in the offense. I like to score goals. So I'm big into going, and I still I don't want to get scored on, of course, but I try to create offense as well.
How did that transition to becoming a defenseman happen then?
Um, I got cut from the brick when I was like 10 years old. So then that's after that, spring hockey. My dad's like, okay, like I think you should try defense. Like you're big, you can skate well. I think you'd be good defenseman. So yeah, I just I moved there and I took it from there, and I used the offensive skills that I learned being a forward and incorporated into my game. And yeah,
I'd say it worked out pretty well.
I would say it was probably a good decision.
I will say also your comment about your dad saying that you're big. My first response to the person who had messaged me about you originally, the next line that I had sent was just 6'1" at 14. because I'm not tall. So I was sitting there like, I can't even imagine. And he's like, yeah, I mean, he's just one of those guys. And then it ended up being a really good conversation, and I'd say it paid off. So,
Yeah, yeah. I think it did. I got lucky. My dad's pretty tall too, so I got the height from him.
um, so when you go into practice, what would you say your favorite things to work on are? And like, what's something that you're like, ah, man, we're doing this today. This isn't my favorite thing.
Uh Favorite thing to work on in practice. I mean, everybody probably would say this. Is just like the game stuff is always fun. Playing 3-on-3 or something like that. I like flow drills too. It's nice at the start of practice, get into practice flow, and then you kind of get to be more like a forward when you get to shoot the puck like closer. And um, but something that I don't something that I don't really when we're doing like just stationary, like when we're trying to figure out, where to go and places and practice. I mean, it's a huge part, but it's just like, it's definitely a bit boring, but it's a big part to the game as well.
Okay, question I always have, like when someone brings that up or when I see it, is like if you guys are going around and you have like stationary like obstacles to get around, how different is that from gameplay? Because obviously, like in a game, opponents aren't just standing there for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. These things aren't trying to kill you, so it's definitely a bit different. But it still helps, getting if you're making moves or something, then you can try to incorporate it into game and incorporate it to try to get around guys who are trying to kill you. So it's definitely helpful, but yeah, it's definitely a lot different too.
On that same note, it's like Tri-City and Spokane play so often. I have to ask because you faced that line of Berkeley Catton, Shea Van Olm, and Andrew Crystal plenty. And even before Crystal got there, just between Catton and Van Olm, you've had a lot of experience against these guys. How has that helped develop your play playing against just that like top line of guys?
Yeah, it definitely has helped me a lot. It's always a fun one to play. Just knowing you're going against some of the best players in the league. Even before Crystal got there, they're hard to play against, and then you get Crystal there, and it's even harder. Like I always tell teams, like who's the hardest player to play against. I always say Cat, and just how he plays, how fast he is, and how smart he is too. Just adding Crystal in the mix there, and you got Ben Owen who can score like nobody's business. So you just got a whole bunch of everything on that line, and it's it definitely has helped me a lot in just my defensive play and just knowing that when I go up against them, I got to be on my A game. But it's always like I love playing against them. I love playing against that line too. Just trying to grind it out and trying to shut them down offensively. It's a tough battle for sure. But I think our team actually did pretty well against Spokane this year, so it's definitely fun to play against them.
I have to ask because the draft coming up, have you thought about maybe if one of their teams ends up picking you, if like, Washington or Seattle kind of calls your name and you're just sitting there being like, "Oh, now I get to be on that side of things," what that's going to be like?
Yeah, I actually haven't thought about that too much, but if that did come and I had a chance to play with one of those too, it'd be pretty cool. Going from playing against them and having to try to grind and defend them to being able to play a bit of offense with them. It would be pretty sweet.
How do you think that first play would go? Like, would just seeing everything on the ice, just being like, "Oh wait, hold on, you're with me on this one."
Yeah, I actually don't know. They're definitely a little bit weird to look and be playing with them instead of playing against them. I think we played against them 10 times this year, so you get to see them quite a lot. So being in the same jersey as them would definitely be a bit of a change, but I think it would probably be a very nice thing to do.
I mean, there's a pretty good rivalry there between Spokane and Tri-City. What's it like playing, against them at home, but also against them on the road? That building is loud.
Yeah, that's my favorite place to play in the league. Just their fans, they hate us, and it's awesome. And it's a big arena too, so they can fill. And usually when we play, it's usually pretty filled. So just having that loud crowd, it's awesome to play against. And even even when they score, they got a pretty sick goal song, and they do quite a few cool things. So even though I hate getting scored on, it's pretty cool.
Just the energy in that building. Yeah, we
Yeah,
had a
exactly.
conversation with another Capitals prospect and Ryan Leonard at the World Juniors, and he wasn't the most popular guy up there. Uh, and he had a quote saying, "It's fun to be hated, or it's cool to be hated." Is that kind of like the energy that that building gives you, where it's just like, yeah, bring it on, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. It is it like you said, it is pretty cool and it's pretty fun to be hated. It makes it so much better when you win. It's a tough arena to play in, but our team, all the boys love playing there. It's just such a fun rivalry. So anytime we get a chance to play there, it's awesome, and all of us love the booze, and we love scoring on them, so it's fun.
Okay, going to the other side of that too, just the success that you've had away from the WHL even. The Kalinka Gretzky, your age group won gold, and then just recently at the U18s. What has that been like kind of going back and playing for Canada and just having that experience?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, winning with them and being able to represent your country, it's something that you don't get to do every day. So the fact that I've got to do it three times and win it twice, it's an incredible feeling. Probably the best feeling that I've had in my life. It's just a great group of guys that we've had the past two tournaments there, and being able to pull through for our country. And yeah, it's incredible whenever I get to represent them, and I love doing it. Yeah, it was awesome.
And not to be, against Canada or anything, but I mean they've had some struggles at the U20 World Juniors and at the World Championships this year. What has it been like? Like, have you guys kind of looked at each other in your age group and been like, I mean, we're winning, like it's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely there's been a couple losses here and there, but I think just based off how we're doing as an age group, I think Canada has a bright future coming up here for World Juniors this year, next year. Who knows what the teams will be like? But I think we have a good group, a really good group of 06s and a really good group of 07s. So that and all of us, know how to win. So I'm excited for the future and what it holds there. And whether I'm on the team or not, I think we have a great group of players coming up. So it's exciting.
When you kind of look towards that future, and you're kind of part in it, or however it plays out, what do you want to kind of be that thing that stands out for you, either for people watching you or just for your own experience?
Yeah, I think bringing a lot of energy to the team. When I go to those events, just trying to be a bit of an energy guy. I play a bit more of a defensive role at all those tournaments. And yeah, I'm happy to do that. Just kind of being there for the guys and being there for the fans as well. It's always better for the fans well, especially in Canada when we're winning. So just kind of looking to just win as much as possible at those tournaments, and hopefully bring home gold.
And I also just have to ask, if someone has never watched you play and they're either about to watch for the first time, or whatever team gets you this summer, they're going to start looking into you. If you had to give them like a 15 to 20-second, this is who I am, this is how I play, what would you say?
Yeah, I would say big skating defenseman who plays a 200-foot game, has a lot of offensive ability, can defend really well off the rush, score goals, can be a one-man breakout as well. I kind of am a all-around package kind of guy.
I like it. I think they're gonna like it too.
Hope so.
Um, Also, answering all these questions, I mean, the combine's coming up, and I'm sure you've been talking to guys all year, scouts, and just doing all these media interviews. Um, have you had the opportunity to have like a break and just kind of get a day or two to just breathe with all of this going on?
Yeah, it's definitely chaotic. This whole year has been it's been a lot, and it's been super cool. Just you don't get to experience this much, so just trying to take it all in. But after the U18s, I'd had about 3 weeks here, and try to chill, try to take it all in a bit. Still a lot of calls and a lot of interviews and all that. So it's super cool and super fun experience. But yeah, I try to take it all in. There's not a lot of time to do that, but when I get the chance, I try to.
With like throughout the year, all of that happening too, how do you kind of get back in that like game mode and get like back to like, all right, that happened and now we're gonna go focus on this.
Yeah, I think throughout this whole year, my main focus has always been Tri-Cities and being there for my team. And the interviews are cool, but once it's done, it's like, okay, well, we got to go play a game or something like that. So I always kind of my number one focus was the team and winning games. So, and if I did that and I played well myself, the interviews would keep coming in and make them a bit easier. Hopefully don't get shredded in those. So, if the team plays well and I play well, it usually makes everything else go a bit better.
Yeah. I mean, all right, playing in Tri-City, I've been out there a few times. I love it out there. Uh, but what does that game day routine look like for you? Just kind of going through morning to puck drop.
Yeah. So say it's a 7 o'clock game at home. We got morning skate at 10 a.m. on game days when it's like the first game of a weekend. Wake up around 8, eat breakfast, head to the rink get there for like 8:45, do a bit of stretching, hang out with the boys, talk, maybe kick the soccer ball around for a little bit, then get ready, get on the ice, skate for 15 minutes, do a little bit of D work, do a bit of D shooting, get off the ice. We go to this every game day. Basically, almost all of us go to this food place called Gray's. Get a sandwich called Sexy Time. It's really good, actually. And then go home. I'm not big into naps, so I chill out, maybe watch a movie, chill my phone, and then I do the Normatex for 30 minutes, and then get dressed, shower, put on a suit, and then head to the rink. Once I get to the rink, stretch again, play a bit more sewer. I keep it pretty loose. Don't like to think too much about the game until I start getting ready. And then once I start getting ready, I get into a mindset and then go out there and play.
All right, two things. How was your Super Bowl game? If like you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, or
No, I'm good at sewer. I'm really good at sewer.
yeah.
Yeah, like in try, we had ratings, and I had the 20-year-olds. Two of the 20-year-olds were good, and they got cards, so they're 1 and 2, and then me and one of our Euros, Max Curran, we're 3 and 4 there. So it's always super fun and always kind of in the mix there in the finals. So I'm pretty good.
Okay, okay. See, my thing is, I always feel like Super Bowl gets really loud. And Max, just in the times that I've talked to him, is one of the quieter guys. So I don't know that I would have like just pictured that. So that's good to know. That's kind of sneaky of him.
He's definitely not quiet in sewer. Oh my God, he never goes out either. If you hit a ball to him and he leaves it, he's never going out. He's he's a bit of a scumbag in the sewer circle, but I love it. It's pretty fun to play against him.
Good to know that competitive spirit.
Exactly.
My other thing was I've been talking to Tri-City guys, I think now for about 5 years. I don't think I've done a single interview where someone hasn't brought up Grays. So
Yeah,
throughout the
it's a
years.
great it's we go there almost every day. It's a really good place to eat and we love it there.
I like it. Especially in Tri-City, because I know there's a couple spots where that used to be kind of like regular rotation, but yeah, sounds fun. Also, the Sexy Time sandwich, I feel like it's just the staple. It's like every
Yeah,
guy's got to get it. It's just
yeah. It's almost every guy, and the guys who don't get it, the other guys kind of chirp him about it. So it's a staple there for sure.
great. Just kind of on the same thing. What's your favorite part about playing in Tri-City, in the Tri-Cities?
Yeah, I think it's probably some of the best weather in the league. So that's a big plus. You get to golf almost all year round, and I love to golf. That's a huge part. Also, just love the team and the guys there. It's for the past 2 years, it's been incredible. They brought me in and made me feel like it's my second home. So everything about it, I really enjoy, and all the billets are incredible. All the billet houses are really nice, so it's awesome.
And what has been, to this point, your best or favorite hockey memory so far?
It's hard not to say the Team Canada events. Those are incredible. Winning the U18 championship with Edge has been awesome, and also just just hanging out with the guys away from the rink. I think just going for lunch with them, being with them, just even away from hockey, it's all of that stuff is just amazing.
And then if draft, well, not if draft day comes around, it's coming around. When draft day comes around, if you had to pick a song to walk up to, what would it be?
Jeez. Oh goodness, I have no clue. Um, oh, put me on the spot with this one.
Yeah, the next
Oh,
one's been worse.
yeah. Oh, jeez. I had to keep it clean too. Oh, I would have to. This is something like music, something I'm pretty particular on, and I'd have to think about this one for a minute there. I couldn't give you an answer right now. That's a hard question.
All right. Have you thought about like if you got to pick a goal song or something?
Well, and when we were at U18s, we never did it, but we were joking around saying Freebird would be pretty funny if we did that one, and we have to kind of get back at them, especially since we never got to play them, but just winning gold. If that was our song, that would have been pretty funny. So I think that might be it.
All right. Interesting choice. I feel like it's kind of become synonymous with that USA hockey this year. So,
Yeah, yeah.
you might have confused a few people for a minute too. Might have been a really good way to throw them off their game, honestly. So,
Honestly, yeah, they didn't hear, and then we score on them when they hear that. I don't think they would be too happy. It would be pretty funny.
all right. And the last question from me, and I apologize, this is a completely out of left field question, but I ask it of every guy I talk to. If you were a fruit, what fruit would you be and why?
It's probably like cantaloupe. I don't know why, but I really like cantaloupe. So I don't know. It's something that I like. So I think that would probably be it, just because I like it.
Interesting. All right. I don't think I've had someone say cantaloupe before. So, you know what? It's unique. It's gonna be a fun one, and I think it's perfect for summer. So,
Yeah, it's got to be a good cantaloupe though. Like some cantaloupes aren't good, so you gotta get the right one.
how do you pick the right cantaloupe?
I got no clue. You gotta ask my mom. She's the one who buys the cantaloupes, so I don't know.
It just happens, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today, and best of luck this summer and heading into next season.
Thank you so much.